and welcome to Kick Skills, a series of video learnings aiming to boost your soft skills in a practical way. Today we're going to dive into the topic of creative problem solving. The key is to look at things from different angles. And my favorite angle is to look at the bright side of life, and immediately problems start to look like opportunities. Let's ask an expert what creative problem solving exactly involves. We're going to meet Bieke Zaman, and she's a professor at the Faculty of Social Sciences at the KU Leuven. She's also a director of the Digital Society Institute. We are at the Kick House, a place for entrepreneurial students at the heart of Leuven. Hi Bieke, thank you so much for being here. So can I ask you, what is creative problem solving?
Yes, sure. Creative problem solving is a process in which different steps alternate each other. In the beginning, we typically have a process in which we try to understand a phenomenon, whether this is a problem that needs to be solved or an opportunity that we would like to anchor down, or things that can be improved even. And in the beginning, we really aim for quantity. The more ideas and the perspectives that we have towards that phenomenon, the better. But of course, working with many ideas is not really practical, so that's why we need at one moment to narrow down, and then we go for quality. So we evaluate all the options that we have and we choose a direction that's most promising, and we will pursue that direction.
Okay, so if I heard correctly, you're talking about giving many ideas to then narrow it down to fewer ideas.
Yes, exactly. And there are also some terminology that we coin for each of these terms. So when you did opening up many ideas, then we call that phenomenon divergence. And when we narrow it down, we call it convergence. And these processes alternate each other as many times as we need, or as many times that is possible in a process.
Okay, interesting. So we're just talking about the definition. Can we have a practical example? How does this translate to real life?
Sure. Allow me maybe to share an example of a course that I taught a couple of years ago. And I think the example that I would like to give was linked to a coursework that students did almost 10 years ago. And students worked together to look and address the challenge of balancing screen time, where you find entertainment, scrolling through your apps on the one hand, and academic focus time, studying on the other hand. So this is the challenge that students aim to address through this iterative, creative problem-solving process. And during the course, they did various techniques and followed various methods, such as doing observations in the field, interviewing people, prototyping, developing tools in an early phase, even with pen and paper. And through this process, they narrowed down their idea, and eventually they come up with the idea of a digital self-control app. And the fact that I like this example is because these ideas were developed, as I said, almost 10 years ago, and then only now we see that big tech giants like Google or Facebook are launching their programs on digital well-being, and they come up with exactly these type of apps. So I think that's amazing that our students already thought of these ideas about 10 years ago.
That is amazing, absolutely. So why is creative problem solving so important in today's society?
Okay. Recall that I said creative problem is looking at a phenomenon from different perspectives, and that's what we need, because many of the phenomena today and the things that are happening in our world are super complex. They are dynamic, constantly changing. If we try to understand it, we see that we might have a different story depending on who is looking at it, from which angle. And that is what we call a wicked problem. Examples of such a wicked problem are climate change or poverty. If I ask you what is poverty, then you might have a totally different interpretation than I have. And maybe both of these interpretations are correct. And so that's why we have to boil down to creative problem solving, to get all these perspectives there, embrace that ambiguity and complexity. And by doing so, we just become more careful and critical in our doing and in our thinking.
Okay, so I understand that creative problem solving today is super important. Then I can also imagine that for students it is a very important skill to learn, right?
They are the people of today, tomorrow, and regardless of which field of study they're currently in, it's all relevant. Whether in the future students will use it for the development of new technology, policy plans, in their research programs, for strategic thinking, it's all relevant to look at phenomena from different perspectives, to be open-minded towards the challenges and opportunities of today.
And if I may be so bold, what is your personal link then to creative problem solving? Do you use it on a weekly basis or?
Well, I might say it's in my DNA, my daily natural attitudes, let's say. I use it very often in everyday setting, like for instance, I'm running a research group, and when we're facing some challenges, I benefit from looking at it from various perspectives, talking to my team, but also looking at wider implications. But also more on a higher level in the research programs that I endorse. They typically mirror these kind of wicked problems. I look a lot at our digital society, where the role of digital technology comes with opportunities and challenges, and we have to look at it from various perspectives, from the perspectives of different individuals, different groups, communities, society, even our planet plays a role in it. So definitely a complex phenomenon that benefits from creative problem solving.
Wow, okay, thank you so much, Pieke. This was very enlightening.
Yeah, thank you.
I've learned that creative problem solving can be valuable when you're trying to tackle the immense challenges of our society, but just as well as the smaller obstacles in our daily lives. So you've chosen the right module of Kick Skills to follow about creative problem solving. Sit tight and I will guide you through it step by step.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hello, I'm Michiel and I'm an expert at problem solving. But I've got my own method. For example, my shoe is unlaced. What do I do? For me, there's 2 easy steps to fix a problem. Step 1, rely on others. Why fix the problem yourself if you could save the energy? Help!
Yes, can I help you?
And then we get to step 2, which is lie. Yes, hello. Could you maybe please lace my shoe because my back really hurts? I have a really bad hernia.
Sure, no problem.
Bye-bye creative problem solving. Hello, a lazy problem solving.